What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here. Welcome back to another post-match fan show. Spurs have beaten Sheffield United 2-1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and it couldn't have been more dramatic. 2 stoppage time goals from Richarlison and Kulusevski as Spurs sealed all 3 points at the Tottenham Stadium. What an unbelievable rollercoaster of emotions that game was. Tottenham actually breaking a record that they set today, which was the latest ever a team has won a game after losing, breaking their own record, which was set by Steven Bergwijn, having taken the equaliser in the 95th minute and ended up winning the game. We actually equalised today in the 98th minute and ended up winning the game in the 100th minute of the game, which was absolutely incredible. Being 1-0 down with 15 minutes to go and keeping with it, keeping to our football, never stopping, as Angelos Postecoglou said. Poetic Richarlison coming off the bench, grabbing a goal and assist after everything that he's said this week and he's been through this season as well. It was a truly, truly fantastic victory for Tottenham, and I honestly couldn't be happier with with the result and the performance and the mentality of the team. I'm here with Brian Daigle from Tottenham on Tour as well, who's going to sit through these fan shows. We'll be talking to the fans. It's time for you guys to have your say. The link is in the community section for all goal members if you want to come on and speak about today's game. Brian, have you caught your breath back after what was a roller coaster of emotions today?
Only just, and as I was saying to you, both those records, you and I were together for them.
We were.
So we're record breakers. Just unbelievable what's going on at this football club right now. The Athletic brought something out a couple of days ago saying Ange's first 100 days report. And you look at it, he has turned this around in like 101, 102 days. Everything in the footballing aspect has done a complete 180. And these players that were low on confidence, low on self-belief, low on everything, all right, a lot of them are gone and not starting, but there's a hunger at the club again, isn't there, on the footballing side? The players on the pitch, 1 to 11, were fantastic. They all fought for the badge. They all fought for themselves. And like you said, Richarlison, doesn't the world work in mysterious ways? Like the week he's had and everything that's going on, he's come out, been brave. And what a reward. What a reward and what a performance from him.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you can see the fans after the game as well. It was sensational to watch. Unfortunately, we weren't in the stadium, but you could see the players linking arms and running over to the fans after the game. Spurs playing Angels from Robbie Williams over the tannoy, and you got the whole South Stand singing "I'm loving Big Ange" instead. It was something of goosebumps watching it as well. I wish I was there, but I want to know what you guys had to have to say about the game today. I'm really looking forward to these callers. Days like today, I can't wait to go and speak to people and get their opinions. So let's get things kicked off. And without further ado, let's start off with Ariane.
Boys.
Ariane!
Big up,
come
Ariane.
on, my guy. Come on!
Oh my God. Bro, I don't think, look, when I was watching that game, just starting with, because of everything that was going on, I was literally dizzy before everything happened. My blood pressure was so fucking high off that referee. I swear to God, I was nearly about to pass. I'm not even kidding. I was genuinely dizzy. But what an end to that. After Kulusevski scored, I literally jumped into my dad's hands. Okay? And after about a couple minutes, I got off of the Angelos Postecoglou cardboard cutout, and then I went to my actual dad. But, you know what I'm saying? Genuinely.
Brilliant.
Jokes aside, I actually did jump into my dad's arms, and I've never... Look, I think genuinely, after the first 4 or 5 games now, he's fully Tottenham. He did not used to watch, like, soccer or nothing like that. Football, sorry. He didn't watch anything until... Not only I became a Spurs fan, until Ange. He despised all the other nonsense that we've been playing, and it's been unbelievable. This game today, and I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
Ariane, in terms of looking things like from an objective view, before we get into the madness that happened in the end, like, do you feel like in terms of the overall performance, maybe we might need 24 hours to digest what actually happened on the pitch after that craziness? But did you feel like 1-0 down going into stoppage time? It was a frustrating day for Spurs. Like that maybe we could have done more, or did you feel like we were lucky to be in that position?
it was frustrating and because we were unlucky. It was everything that could have gone against us went against us in terms of the decisions, in terms of bounces, in terms of 1v1s. Everything that kind of could have gone the wrong way did. And, it's a shame that we don't have the winning mentality to push on in these games because, it's not a disaster when you lose at Spurs. It's really not. Unfortunately, we kind of just took it on the chin and moved on. We're not like Bayern Munich. We can't, if it's a draw, if it's a loss, but we'll just take it. No, but seriously, the fact that we pushed on that way, despite everything going against us, shows exactly what kind of culture is at the club right now with what Ange's done, and it's sublime. It's fantastic. Yeah, I think the performance was honestly good. What was it? 19 shots, about 63 minutes wasted from the goalkeeper, and still we managed to find this time and space to get 2 goals, and that's all you can call for. Like 28 shots or whatever. And I think the goalkeeper was probably, if it wasn't for Robinson making about 17 blocks, the goalkeeper would have probably had the Premier League record for saves. That's how much we were living in their box.
Yeah, 100%. In terms of, you mentioned the referee there, 13 yellow cards he pulled out today. Also, a lot of people saying Tottenham probably should have had a penalty. I think it was in the first half as well for a poor challenge on Maddison. What was wrong with him today? Because it was really strange. He was extremely card happy. Yes, maybe the game was a bit feisty, but I didn't feel like it was. It wasn't like maybe comparative to that Argentina Holland game or the Battle of the Bridge. It wasn't that kind of game. Yeah, it seemed like every challenge he was just pulling out the card.
It was strange because I think he forgot he had his red card in his pocket, but he had the yellow just on deck every time anything happened. On another day, we could have had 2-3 penalties, genuinely, and they could have had like a couple players sent off because I don't understand how the goalkeeper was on the pitch. I don't understand how Basham was on the pitch. And McBurney, I think, ironically, he had the harshest of decisions to go against him with that red card because it was dissent, but also, what was it, 2 decisions in 1? Was he already on the yellow? I'm not sure. But, yeah, just everything the ref could have done wrong. And that first half, 3 minutes of added time. Are you kidding me? I think the goalkeeper was drinking water for 5 minutes alone. So I just.
And then
don't
you had
understand.
that really weird moment as well in the second half where the ball gets thrown on the pitch from a Spurs corner, and he gives Tottenham a drop ball, and then it happens again from the next corner, and he gave Brighton the drop ball. Yeah,
it just doesn't make any sense. It does. I don't even know what he. I don't know if he got a good night's sleep or whatever it was, because he was on something. Just one of the worst, and not even in terms of bias, because some like referee performance you see and you're just like, they want us to lose or something like that, and it wasn't that. It was just so incompetent in every single way, right? It wasn't like I felt cheated, but that's not why I was upset. It wasn't like kind of the Brighton game versus us last season where Brighton fans just felt cheated, and I understood that because they just everything. It felt horrible. They felt like that. It was that. It was just incompetent. Everything we did was wrong in every way. It was confusing.
Yeah, 100%.
No, you're right. I mean, let's talk about some players, Ariane. I mean, there's obviously when we get to the madness, as Simeon said at the end. Who stood out for you before the madness?
Before the madness.
Before the madness. The madness is a whole different category.
Yeah, the madness is a whole different category. I think before the madness, for me, I think Maddison looks sharp again, like he always does. I think it's a bit difficult to pick someone out because I think everybody kind of had these half and half games. Like Poro was getting in decent positions, but then his decision making was completely off today. I think Udogie. Great, like decent performance again, not quite as dominant as other ones. I think Van de Ven looked quite good today, and Romero, I think they looked very sharp and were defending very well. Like even the goal was completely not their fault. Vicario, sensational. A couple goals he saved were amazing. I think Solomon, I think was probably the best of the front 3 today, and before the subs, I think he was genuinely. He looked sharp. I think he could have gotten a goal or 2 on another day, or an assist or 2 on another day. I think he just looked on it today. Yeah, I think that's it. I think Kulusevski had like a bit of an hot and cold game. Son definitely not quite his kind of game. Not enough space in behind like there was against Burnley. I think Basuma and Sarr again looked decent, but not quite up to their the ceiling like we know they can be. They were just like okay, but I think the players that were like standouts for me were the center backs and probably Solomon and Maddison and Vicario.
And to talk to me about the Richarlison cameo, because it was such a big game for him, and it was kind of poetic how things played out with everything that happened in midweek with him and over the international break. Coming onto the pitch, at 1-0 down. And it wasn't just the goals. I thought in general he was just making such a nuisance of himself. He was getting involved in it. Let me know your thoughts on how Richarlison did, in your opinion.
It was a flawless sub performance. It was flawless. It was a 10 out of 10 for me. I think he did everything. He was exactly what Ange did. Exactly what Ange brought him on for. He did it to a perfection. If you wrote a script of what Richarlison needs to do, that's what he did. If beforehand, that's exactly what he did. The second he came on, just the thing about Richarlison is he. Doesn't matter if he can't get the ball. Doesn't matter if he knows he can't get the ball. He will fight for that ball as if it is about 4 inches in front of him. He's going to kill you for that ball, even if it's 6 meters into the sky and he knows he has no chance. He will fight you like it's right in front of him, and you're the only thing in his way. It's exactly what you need against that kind of tussle against tired Sheffield United legs who can't really deal with that kind of energy. Because Richarlison, not only can you do that in 90 minutes, when you give him that fresh legs Richarlison that will just. It's like a tick. Doesn't get off at all. Just an absolute nuisance, a pest. That's exactly what he needed, and it ended up being perfect because he tired out those Sheffield United defenders. We saw it; they were gassed. They were gassed 90 minutes in, but they were gassed after Richarlison took some out of them, and he ends up taking the wind out of them with that equalizer, and then Kulusevski finishes it from his very nice layoff. A 10 out of 10 performance from me. 11.
Harry, let me just ask you a question. With this as well, do you see, I was talking to Simeon about it, I think these kind of games, like a Sheffield United, like a low block team, this is more designed to get the best out of Richarlison, isn't it? Rather than a Son who needs to play against Burnley or teams that play open football. These kind of games are made for Richarlison, aren't they?
100%, because if you look at what Richarlison has done throughout his career, that's been the best. Where Richarlison has looked the best in the World Cup, it wasn't against teams like the World Cup is also generally national team football is a bit more like conservative. It's a bit more pragmatic. You don't see that kind of open play generally that often. That's why that's why some players do better, because it's a completely different kind of. It really is a different game, and you see at Everton. Every time Richarlison is, getting his results, 13 goals, 15 goals, Everton plays scrap football. He has to fight for it, and that's what you do when you're playing in a low block. You're fighting. It's a tussle. It's a physical battle. That's when Richarlison's always looked his best, and that's exactly what he did today. It's the exact role we bought him from, and it's where he shines. So for sure, when you're playing against ironically against an Everton or against a Sheffield United or against a Luton Town or against something like that where you're going to need some physical fight, there is no better player. Richarlison is second to none in that kind of environment, and that's where he shines. So for sure, I want him. And I think the good thing about our team is we have these two front threes. We have like Perisic, Richarlison, Kulusevski, who are a little bit more suited to that. And then we have like these techie, pacey front three in Solomon, Brennan, and Son. And I think that really is going to suit us when it comes to our tactical flexibility.
Yeah, talking about Brennan, we got a first look at him today. Only a short cameo, but what did you make of his cameo?
Amazing. I was very impressed. And you could see kind of what it was that Ange wanted in him. He was dynamite. Again, that pace, it helped in gassing the defenders. Because Robinson, Robinson was on it all day for Sheffield United. I mean, he was without a doubt their man of the match. I think he prevented about 4 or 5 goals on his own. Just some insane blocks, but he could not keep up with Brennan, and that's what tired him out in the end. And that's him getting tired is basically the reason that we had the space in the end, or not the space, the ability in the end to take it, because it's what afforded us that extra half second, because he was there, he was Mr. Everywhere today in that back line, and when Brennan kept them busy, it opened up the gaps for us, and I think that was crucial. Brennan was amazing.
Yeah, 100%. I have to agree with that. I thought it was a really nice cameo from him. But a 1-0 down, the goal we conceded, just talking about the negative, it was a bit of a terrible goal, wasn't it? Long throw, could have been dealt with a lot better. And at that point, you're thinking, do we only have ourselves to blame, like going 1-0 down?
I don't think. I mean, like, I think do we have only ourselves to blame? Going 1-0 down is a bit of a. Yeah, do we have ourselves to blame for that singular goal? I think we do. I mean, it was a good finish, and it was, those long throws are like deceptively dangerous, to be fair. But I think most of all, ironically, was Kulusevski was at fault for that. I think he kind of just was ball watching a little bit and was just behind it. But also not, no disrespect to Sheffield, got to give him some credit. That was a very, that was straight from the training pitch from them. You could see. Exactly how they kind of imagined that game would go up until the 100th minute. That's exactly what they were looking for. They were looking for low block, frustrate us, get on our nerves, time waste, frustrate the crowd, quieten the crowd, and get that goal. And it was working like a charm until they got tired. And yeah, I think Kulusevski should have probably dealt with it because it was his man. He lost. But yeah, we're working on it. Like I said, it's probably set pieces are probably the stuff we're working on the least right now. I'm assuming just because I feel like all the other areas of our game have improved so much, and defensively on set pieces we look okay, but I think that's more because of Van de Ven's presence more than anything. I don't think tactically we look any more aware than we did before, and I'm sure we're going to get to that. But I think the improvements we're making in other areas is a fair trade-off, so I'm happy with it, and in the end it ended up being enough. So I'm not complaining too much, but I think there's stuff we can work on. I think set pieces have been once again probably a weakness this season. I think we've conceded 2 or 3 now from them, if I'm not wrong. And I'm sure we're looking into it. I'm sure Ange is thinking of stuff. I'm sure he's on top of it. I'm not worried.
And look, that win now, 4 on the trot, and we go into the North London derby next week in great form. Like, is there a better way to go into the North London derby than the form that we're in?
No, but it's just that those away games, man. I don't want to get too negative, especially today, but those away games are going to be tricky. Hopefully we come out with something. And I think if we don't come out with anything, as far as performance and pride, I think this is going to be I think it's going to be one of the best games we're going to see at the Emirates in a while, for sure. But yeah, it's always going to be tough because, we'll see how Arsenal play tomorrow. They've also been a little bit off the pace. They have the Champions League to play in the midweek. They're going to be a little bit more tired than we are. There's some things that are definitely looking good for us. Some things that are going our way. So I'm not going to write us off. I'm never going to write off Angelos Postecoglou's Tottenham and anything. But, and we look like, I think as far as what we could ask for going into that North London derby, we can't ask for much more. Without Harry Kane, with a lot of young players, and a new coach, and in just 100 days, there's just not much more you can ask. I mean, maybe a win at the start of the season. Oh boy, just we look like a completely different Tottenham, and I think if we're ever going to take them at the Emirates, it's gonna be under this team. If not now, at some point later, but if it's gonna happen recently, I don't think our chances have ever been higher than now.
Agreed.
And they're only gonna get higher.
Ariane, great to chat to you, my friend.
Yes.
Always good to speak to you, especially after a massive win like today.
Fantastic
Always good to have
win.
you on.
Fantastic.
Big up to
Absolutely
you, my bro.
amazing.
See you later,
Big
buddy.
performance. Shout out to Richarlison. And as always, come on, you Spurs!
Come on! Big up to Ariane. Always love getting his call. Need to always get Ariane on the hype train whenever he gets after a big win. He gets on the call. All right. Next up, we have. Is he still there though? Is Brain? Do you need to turn on your camera if you're not there, or if he's gone? We'll bring someone else on in the meantime. We'll have Ross. Ross is going to come on next. I'll get him on. Yes, Ross. How you doing, my friend? You all right?
Doing great. The sounds of pigeons echoing through the air.
Exactly.
Oh man, what a game! I mean, the beginning of the game, it's Groundhog Day. Oh my God, is that Conti in an Ange mask over there? I mean, what's going on? But it was the low block, and that's traditionally been tough. But hey, fought, kept going. Last season, I don't know if we win this. I really don't know if we win this game last season. Maybe we scrape a draw out and then go, okay, we got the draw. Let's just sit back, and take the draw and take the point and go home. No, we went after it, and I'm just so happy for Richarlison with everything he's gone through. I mean, like as people said, you couldn't write the script better for that.
100%. In terms of the game, objectively, when in terms of winning the game in the fashion that we did, would you say we got lucky, or was that just good reward for a persistent performance?
That's good reward for persistent performance. I mean, this offense, the way Ange plays, is it's designed to wear teams down. You got to be on point, and you get tired. And there's a saying, tired men make mistakes, and that's what we did. We kept at it. Ange brought in the fresh legs, brought in Richarlison, who is, as Arian was saying, more suited to playing against a low block, knows how to get in there, get that positioning. And it was deserved. We deserved that. We fought for it and we kept going, and that's why you keep going, you keep pounding away, because you never know what can happen.
100%.
Yeah, no, I'm going to talk about, because we spoke about the Richarlison and everything. I mean, Ross, what was your thoughts of Bissouma in the last 10-15 minutes? Because I personally think if you want to see a man single-handedly start dragging us into the kind of positions to make that turnaround, look no further than that, man.
Absolutely. I mean, the guy's done it all year long. I mean, he keeps that ball alive. He keeps things going. He's just such a good box-to-box midfielder, and he's the reason why we're doing so well. I mean, like I said, Conte needs to be locked up for how he treated Bissouma. I mean, God, that guy is just such a different player now, and he is key to everything that we're doing here. It's like it's going to suck when AFCON comes around and he's got to go play for. But I don't think Mali will get too far, so we probably won't be without him too long.
Luckily, we'll have a Rodrigo Bentancur back, please God, by
Yes,
that
sir.
time to cushion the blow. Manor Solomon as well. Obviously, we were speaking about it a lot in the watch along. I think that was his best game in the Spurs shirt. He had a great performance against Burnley, but he was everywhere today, wasn't he, down that left?
Yes, he was. Yeah, everywhere. Just, again, that speed, that pace. I mean, that's how this thing works. You can have that speed out there, that pace out wide, beat those guys, get down, get that ball in to the box, get that ball to the guys that can score. Yeah, he's been just fantastic. I mean, it just seems like everybody new that comes in does well. I mean, when's the last time that's happened? Usually we're like, oh, this guy, that guy. But every guy that comes in, and Johnson today. Johnson was fantastic. I mean, if he'd have been a little bit back further, he would have had his debut, a goal in his debut. I mean, they just plug right into this system. It's incredible to see.
And then I've seen a few suggestions maybe around social media, even though all the subs came on and made a difference. Like people maybe accusing Ange could have brought on subs a bit quicker. Do you think he maybe timed them to perfection, or do you reckon he could have acted a bit quicker in trying to change the game?
I was hoping he'd bring him in sooner, but of course, that's just me, the impatient fan here. But no, I mean, it worked. We brought him in, and then not long after, we get the 2 goals and we win the game. So I trust him. He's not giving me any reason to really seriously doubt anything that he's done. I mean, managers are going to make mistakes. You're going to question things. We all are. But I mean, anything he does, I'm behind it. I'm with it.
100%. In terms of Kulusevski scoring the winner today, and I thought that was good reward for a really strong showing as well throughout the game. Comes in for a lot of, in my opinion, unfair criticism for a lot of his performances, but maybe scoring the winner today. How did you feel he performed overall?
I think he did great. I mean, he kind of sometimes can be a little predictable when he comes down and cuts inside every time. But I mean, but he's out there working. He's out there getting in the box, getting that ball in the wing, and doing something with it, even if he maybe gets a little predictable at times. But he just, again, like everybody else on the team, kept working, kept playing, kept fighting, and the opportunity was there. And to get that layoff, because they were all looking at Richarlison after he scored, and it opened somebody else up.
And tell me about how Ange is just changing things around this club, because you saw after the game today, the players all linking arms and running over to the south stand and celebrating with the fans again, and Tottenham playing Angels over the tannoy, and you got the whole south stand singing "I'm loving Big Ange" instead. And there were celebrations in the concourse today as if we just had a massive win, like against Arsenal or something. And obviously we've only beaten Sheffield United, albeit in dramatic fashion. But he seems to just be bringing such an amazing positive energy, Ange, to this club. And today was more evidence of that, wasn't it?
Absolutely, it was. I mean, that's what he's done. He's just what we needed. He's brought it in. The college I went to here in the States, University of Central Florida, we had a season where we won 0 games in our football. And we brought in this coach, Scott Frost, who was a young coach, had fresh ideas. I mean, not that Ange's young, but kind of in similar fashion. And then within his second season, we went undefeated. So, it goes to show you that, the culture change. That's so important for somebody to come in there and bring in a fresh culture, get these guys believing, get these guys playing the way that they want to play and how they can play. And we can start to debunk the myths like, with Conte, they do not want to play under pressure, we're showing people, yeah, we do. We just needed the right system and the right guys and somebody that these guys can believe in and get behind.
All right. Well, and when we were 1-0 down, what was your feeling at that point? Did you still have belief we were going to get back into the game, or were you kind of resigned to it being a frustrating day at that point?
A little more. It was frustrating. I mean, I still had the belief and the hope that we could do it, but yeah, as it wore on, you're kind of like, oh man, this isn't good. But they just that's what it just shows. It shows a change in the mindset, a change in the attitude and the system now. They just know, we're not out of it. We just keep pounding away, keep playing our game. They play their game, we play our game, we win it. Just as simple as that.
We never stop.
Correct.
Exactly.
Right?
Never,
as
never,
says.
never,
We
never,
never
never.
100%. Ross, mate, great chatting to you as always, my friend. Good to see you. Good to have you on, and we'll see you very soon.
Speak to you soon, Ross.
All right. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on.
Come on, you Spurs.
Big up to Ross. Absolutely love that. I'm loving the positive energy. He's got his camera on now, so let's get him on. Let's get Brains on.
Big up.
Yeah, Brains, how we doing, man? You all right?
Yeah, not bad. What's happening to my favorite commentator / stripper, Sim Daniel? Dude, you got your kit off faster than Richarlison in a Brazilian brothel. Like, I've never seen anyone flash the kits as fast as you did there. That was insane.
All bets are off when there's a last-minute winner, Brains. You should know that. All bets are off.
I semi-expected the game, the goal would be like yellow card or something, like offside or something. Just to see Brian pull out a yellow card and just like
he did check off the celebration, and then as soon as he realised, he was like, "Okay, I'm safe. I'm safe."
I'm going nuts. Gav, like, just explain to me like how that went for you, like emotionally throughout that game.
Oh, man, it was one of those things. I was like, when you're like watching and you're just super trigger happy with, oh, this is going well, we're playing so well, and then I was just about to write in the group like, and this is probably where we lose a goal, like, because we're just playing. It's like 70% possession, like, we're just smashing them, and then, they get a throw in, corner from nothing, the ball spins out weirdly, goes the other side. Throw in, and it's just, I even kind of feel like it's harsh to really, who do you put the blame on for that throw in? Like Romero tried, but he couldn't really get anywhere near it. Kulu for kind of not reading the bounce right, but I don't know. I think that just comes down to like hammering the ball. Like he just hits the ball perfectly. He's done it in a couple games now. He's a sweet connector of the ball, that guy. So, I don't know. I just think it was just this kind of stuff happens in football. You batter a team a whole game and then they go up the other side and score a goal. But the thing with us is last season and some other seasons, like we would have just been murdered, and then actually the team would have been all over us, or we just wouldn't have been able to come back. But we've turned it around, and the thing that I loved was just Basuma just never stopped. Like he kept wanting the ball. He kept, even when like, if it was like a freak, he just wanted to give me the ball quick. Let's go. Like he hated all slowing of the game. He just wanted to move, And Kulusevski as well. Just you could see he was just mentally in the game. Like he never really, his dribbles didn't go wrong today. Like I could see he was like sharp today, Kulu. And then it took something for that moment to like work together for all to happen. But it's a classic situation. Like as we were making these changes, I'm going, he's going to take the entire front line away, and he's going to bring on Perry, Richarlison, and Johnson. Like, I just wanted Johnson to come on. I thought he might have been like the change himself. But I was thinking, like, this is a bad move. This is a big mistake. And then Perisic puts the cross over. It's just like Richarlison gets a goal and an assist. Like, oh man, what do I know? Like, and you got in trust and we trust. It was beautiful.
Yeah, did you feel like, so you felt like the turnaround, that was like the result, and at the end of the day we deserved the victory, or did you feel like maybe we got a bit lucky with the way we won the game?
No. I feel like we should have been scoring through the game. I feel like there were so many chances. Things just didn't run for Sonny. He had, at one point, he has a great touch, and then it doesn't go his way. At one point, he has a bad touch. But I did think that he got into like some really incredible positions, though. He created against that defense, who are so good at closing the space. They are just so good at it. Like, he created space inside, like not like space on the sides. He created it inside for himself. So, and Madison found him like multiple times. So they had chances. Solomon, I loved how he played. He just can't hit the target. Like, sometimes I think you've maybe got it in you maybe once or twice to put the ball over the bar, and then in professional football, you should be hitting the target. You shouldn't be cutting in and skying the ball over the bar. Not at this level. Like, maybe once you get away with it, but then you've got to get the ball on target. So I was a little bit disappointed with his finishing, but he still played well, though. Like I was surprised how well he played. Like, everyone, I can't go through that team and say that, oh, this player, he was bad today. Like, Sonny wasn't Sonny, but he wasn't bad. He still did some nice little link work. And it's just like, when Richarlison came on, Richarlison was back to being Richarlison. Like, nothing's working. And then he gets the goal. And it's like, well, I was saying just before, we were doing a lot of good stuff. And it looked like we were, at the 70th minute, it looked like we were really starting to pick up, really peppering them. But then everything just ended up with a cross in the box. And I was like, why are we just crossing it in the box? You have to find other ways in. Like, a cross isn't going to do anything here. And so then that's why it made sense for Perisic and Richarlison to come on, because, okay, Perry's going to, and fair enough, like, Perisic is, with his age, is so one-dimensional. He's going to step, bang, go to the line and cross. He's going to do it. But still, it's like he's got the most obvious trick ever. He's got the most obvious superpower ever, and yet still nobody can stop the cross. He gets his crosses every time. And like, he had one at the back post that was like the most beautifully precise cross, So I just think, I thought Johnson was incredible when he came on. Like, what else do you want from a guy in 20 minutes of coming on the pitch or whatever? He dribbled through a bunch of players. All of his one-touch passing was precise and crisp. He takes an unbelievable touch. The one where he was offside, he was just offside, by the way, and he takes the touch. I could not believe how he trapped that ball so dead. He took that and then finished the ball. Where the keeper had closed the angle, he finishes the ball. Like, that's for all those people who were saying, Brennan Johnson, nah. Shush, please. Like, Brennan Johnson will come in this team and you won't miss anyone. You'll see a plus. So, I think we could have scored loads of goals. It just, they're I think they'll do that to a lot of teams. I think they will frustrate so many teams. Like, they're dogged, they close space. But we carved through that space. Like, I think we carved through that space better than most teams will. So I don't think we should be looking at it like, oh God, what a close call. I think we should be looking at it like, they got very lucky kind of with a goal, and then we didn't cower away. We actually went after it, and we just didn't stop until we got it. By the way, we deserved the 12 minutes, more than 12 minutes. That first half should have been easily 6 minutes. Like, 3 minutes? It was like you've had two big stops. Unbelievable. But yeah, I don't know what was going on with the ref. He was, every couple of seconds, he was frustrating. He didn't really seem to have control of the game. He was given cards for some things that was not a card, and then for other things it was a card. If some things he would miss, that would be a card. So yeah, but I genuinely didn't. I think it's harsh that we conceded a goal today, because I thought our defense was. I thought Mickey van de Ven in the first half, some of his tackling was just absolutely beautiful. Like, and Romero, I didn't think put a foot wrong either. So it's weird that we lost the goal today. It doesn't feel like a game where we deserve to lose a goal. You know, Vicario was brilliant in the 3 times that he was called in to make saves, you know. So yeah, I was just, you know, it's one of those games, like, wouldn't you want it this way? Like, wouldn't you want these amazing feelings? Like Ariane's jumping, humping a fucking cardboard cutout. You're flashing your tits in Diego's face in front of like 4,000 people. Like, isn't this what you wanted? Are you not entertained?
Brilliant.
No, I
100%.
genuinely thought, if this is Ange Ball, like I'm all in. I mean, it's crazy. It's fun. Not at one point in that game was I not entertained. Honestly, like it was just super fun to watch. But I think when Basuma carves through in the first half, the back post opened up. I can't believe he never hit it. He took one extra touch, but if he just when it opened up, so that there's a defense that are so dogged, and yet our number 6 just carved right past them all. That guy's something else. I don't know if there's another player in. He's got a Kocha vibes about him sometimes. Like I don't know if there's another player like him in the league right now. He's just when you're looking at him, and then you look at like, even like you've got like Caicedo. No way is he a million. Rice isn't doing anything like what he does. You know, like you're looking at the players who are 100 million in this league. You know, even the Chelsea's other 100 million. What's his name? His name's escaping my head. Fucking
Enzo
Hernandez. Enzo. Yeah, Enzo Fernandez. So, like, I think there's players who are just not 100 million players. If you ask me, like, they're not, like, I wouldn't even say Bazuma's 100 million. Like, it's an inflated market, but I would say Bazuma should be on this quality that you're seeing higher than them, you know? He's just flying right now. It's beautiful to see.
Well, Brian, you know, you were talking just before about how Sheffield United were lucky to go a goal up. You look at it now. This is another test that we've overcome, isn't it? We've just shown everything that we're doing right now. This was the low block that we had to try and beat and find a solution. We've done it the way we've done it as well, showing resilience, determination. We're just growing and growing, aren't we?
Yeah, and it's like it's that thing where, you know, when that goal goes in, you're going, see the chances we missed today, we do miss Harry Kane, or everything people said, well, you know, this is the problem with Ange Ball, you know, you're vulnerable at the back. And it's like, no, this was a throw-in that landed at a guy's feet, and he hit it like better than most people would ever hit that. He hit it on its bounce, like half volley along the ground. Like, how many people are going to have that hit, you know? So it's quite lucky they got that goal, but it was the determination to not, shoulders didn't drop. Actually, Maddison had a little period where he seemed to wane a little bit. He seemed to kind of, like, maybe he didn't fully believe that we had it in us, you know? You know, sometimes players go through that, but then he did wake back up. It was only like a few minutes, but he woke back up. And in that time, Basuma really did start to control the game and move it and just take over. So, yeah, it answered a load of questions, but it also sets up this weird kind of unrealistic expectation of these 4 wins on a, you know, these 3 wins in a draw, like this unbeaten run is great. It's incredible, but and we keep going, like, but obviously at some point it's going to go wrong, you know. So as long as we kind of stay a little bit, you know, like anchored by the fear of when is it going to go wrong. I was listening to some Celtic fans on a podcast the other week talking about, they knew that Spurs fans were going to be shocked. They were all like, kind of, yeah, you know, because there was a lot of Spurs fans who were kind of like, you know, nah, what's this guy, you know, and they had all gone through that. So they were like, they were all about like, we can't wait to see how Spurs fans like react when he's like just obviously the greatest manager alive, right? Like they were all like, wait till you see what is going to happen with Spurs fans. But even them on that same podcast were going, still can't believe how good he's doing, because when he came to us, they were like, he was all right at first. It got better, but how has he hit the ground? And it's not taken, like, for obviously he didn't really have much of a preseason, but how is it not taken any time to embed the style of play? Because that style of play isn't easy, right? Like to constantly pass and make triangles and shapes and move the ball around and not get disheartened when it doesn't work, you know? Like that takes a lot of time, I would have thought. You know, it doesn't take, well, like what Ross was saying, but when a manager comes in, you give them a season normally, unless you're at Chelsea, but you normally give them a season to, you know, get going and build an idea of a style of play. But it just feels maybe with Spurs and this is where like recruitment was exactly right, and the players who were there were dying to play this style of football.
Yep.
So that's why bringing in Ange, a player who's going to have that style, it's just such a marriage. And then when you have a linchpin like Maddison who can make that, you know, some of his little twists and turns today, and then bang, cutting 45-degree angle passes right into the heart of the goal to Sonny. Some of them were unbelievable, you know, like just another level. Like even though Maddison didn't have his game that he's had in other games, I still cannot believe that this is James Maddison. Like,
Yep.
I never saw him being this good at Leicester. Maybe because I didn't see all the Leicester games, but I'm just kind of blown away about how many players we've got. Even Pedro Porro at times today did stuff that was just like, this guy is incredible. Some stuff he did at the back, some stuff he did middle of the park, the little flick round, twisting turn past the player. Deaded the guy. He got maybe 10 yards of dead on the guy. It's just like he buried the guy. He buried the guy in 2 coffins of space. It was just like how, like, so that's what I'm saying. It's like we pretty much have a baller in almost every position on the pitch right now, which is kind of crazy. Like, I don't know when we will have ever had this in the past, if we ever have. I don't think we ever really have had it where we've got so many ball players all around the parks, and I think that's why there's not been as much time. So obviously, Ange comes in. If you've got me some good footballers, all right, cool. But if you've got ball players everywhere, then they all want to play this way. So it's such a marriage. And at some point, we have to give the club some credit for bringing Ange in and for some of these signings to be as precise. You know, people were, when Manor Solomon came in, so I was hearing so many people going, "Oh yeah, it's only because he's a free." He's a good fucking player though. Like some of the stuff he did today was just, I mean, I want him to hit the target more, but he is good. And I was critical in the first few games. I was a bit like, nah, I'm not really seeing anything from him, but he is a really good little player, and we spent no money on him. So this window is progressive. I know we needed more centre backs. Of course we do. And even Ange said that the other day. He's like, look, we need another centre back. But this window is proving in time to have been quite an incredible window.
Correct.
Every save you see Vicario pull off, you're like, David who? You know, you're like, wow. Like, I didn't expect this guy to be making these types of saves as consistent, you know. So, yeah, man, I'm just, I'm like really blown away by it, man. I mean, when I'm in a cast, and I totally forgot I was in a cast. when the second goal went in, I jumped up and I was like, "Oh fuck!" I was like, "There's a little spiky rolly ball on the ground, and I just stepped on that with my left foot, up in the air, and I'm just like lying on the ground, like screaming, like, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" Housemates are running, like, "Oh, you all right? What the fuck? What happened?" I'm like, no, it's fine. Oh man!
Tell me, the winner was scored by Kulusevski today. I feel he's a player who this season and for the past 18 months has come in for a lot of criticism, unfairly or not. Yeah. I thought he put in a very strong performance, obviously scoring the winner. What did you make out of his performance today?
I think it's really telling. You know, like sometimes, you know, like what Ange said about Richie a couple of weeks ago. He was like, you know, he's doing all the right work. Just because he didn't have chances doesn't mean that, you know. So basically, what Ange is looking in players is not what we're looking. We want goals, we want end product, we want the right things, you know. But Ange is not like that. He has to see, like, because he's building something for the long term. And then when that thing came out saying that Kulu had run more than any player in the Prem. Like, that's quite incredible, because we're thinking like, you know, like we expect him to go round and do all these runs and stuff, but he's also been coming back. He's been running like at times like the length of the pitch to come back and help and then get back up and make attacks happen. And I haven't seen him play. It's not like he's been playing bad, but you know, when you come in and you get so many assists and so many goals in your first, you know, half a season, it sets such a unrealistic, you know, expectation that he's just going to always do that. He gets injured. He gets depressed from not being at a World Cup. He goes through some things. There's multiple managers in and out. Like, it's a shambles. But here's a good coach with him. And I thought he was brilliant today. I thought he was involved in so many moves. He did so many things right. And then to get his goal at the end. So he's got goals. You know, what we were saying, what criticism can you give a guy who runs more than anyone in the Prem and gets goals? So for me, I thought some of his dribbling was really cool. And obviously his dribbling's not been bad any of the times. He's always been really nice and neat with the ball. But when he can put it all together, like, then it's really cool. I think obviously we're just used to him cutting on the left and then hitting the back post with shots. But I think a lot of defenders will know he's going to do that. So I think the big thing for me was that where he came in off, he was on the other side. He wasn't on that side. And he hit the ball in the top corner with his right foot. So
Well, tell me about that, Brains. Actually, just a quick note on that, because he came on. Obviously, Brennan Johnson came on, played right wing. Kulusevski kind of moved a bit more centrally, and I didn't think he was having a bad game on the right, Kulusevski. But obviously, he did move centrally, and that's where the goal came from. A lot of people have been suggesting maybe that could be a long-term solution for Kulusevski, playing him as more of a number 8. Do you think that moment maybe was evidence of that?
Well, if you watch how he plays with Sweden, he's got like a bit of a free rein as a kind of 10. He does pick up positions on both sides, and he comes inside. Like, his goal he got during the week was on that side as well, right? So he is a player who can play in a 10 or play in, you know, he believes he's a 10. That's how he thinks of the game. So he like, I could see that he, on any one of just one wing, would find himself limited. You know, so I don't think he wants to be on one side cutting and always hitting with his left. I think he wants to be all over the place and just find himself in good positions. So, but it's amazing that you've got a player who can do that. Like, at the end there, we had one centre back on the pitch, and we went after a game with one centre back on the pitch. Like, that's just, you know, that is really going for it. And then to have him, I didn't even think he was, because Johnson was on the right. Like, I'd have to see a heat map of where he was picking the ball, but I thought I saw him across the kind of 10 role. I thought I saw him all over there. You know, he did pick up the ball a lot of the time in that 8 where Sal would have picked up, but he was the other side, and then that's where the goal comes from, where he kind of almost like in a Madison position. So yeah, I thought it was that just shows you that he wanted that win. He's like, I'm gonna go and help this play over this side. I'm gonna get in this position. And I'm going to, like, if he was on his side and he got a goal from there, fair enough, he's just doing his job. But he's on the other side. That means he's going to try and win the game, which is beautiful to see. And I thought Højbjerg's little work there, the reverse pass with the right foot around the corner, thought that was brilliant. When you see that type of play, the one-touch, give, go, every player, one mind thinking, we need to move quick. If anything, sometimes earlier on in the game, it was not as fast as that. And when it's not as fast as that, a team like them will close and fall back and get in a position. But when it's that quick, I think we score against anyone if we move the ball that quick. You know what I mean?
100%. And talk to me a bit about Ange, because what an impact this guy has made. You've seen the crowd today and the fans in the stadium celebrating this win as if we'd just beaten Arsenal or we just come off a massive win. You had the Tottenham playing Angels over the tannoy, and all the South Stand singing I'm loving Big Ange instead. And he's really just brought such unity and togetherness in such a short space of time. And more today, getting that last win, he said in his post-match press conference. You know, the fans played a massive part today in getting us back in the game. Like, tell me a bit about what impact that he continues to make on this club.
Yeah, but you know, before even Ange, I was super impressed. Like, I was supposed to be at the game, and then I got this broken foot, but so I was really bummed. But it's just listening when you're watching at home and you hear just we're 1-0 down, and you can hear the fans just like going and getting louder and louder and louder, like almost like willing the team. You know, like almost like the team's power bar goes up. You know, like a kind of Mortal Kombat Tekken power bar is going up with more. But the more the singing's, it's like charging them, you know. And look, I think as well with I think the fans are so incredible because players feel that. You know, it can be, as we've seen before, sometimes when fans are going, and it can make players not stand up to that pressure. And like that, sometimes we've seen our team cower at big points. But then today, like, it seemed like a different thing. You know, it seemed like the players were getting more and more energized to move faster, to go for it. Certain players, like, you could see they were just like, give me the ball. Like, Basuma was like, quick, give me the ball. He was like, so like, you felt his energy. He was just like, give me the ball, let's go, you know? And like Kulu as well was just like, like move, you know? It was so good to see him. And I felt that was like the crowd doing that to him. But also, like, Ange, I could tell when it came to he had the three players at the side waiting to make that change, and he just held off because he thought something else was going to happen. He was just holding. He was like, wait. So he's actually got he's got composure. You know, he's got belief and he's got composure. And for him to make that decision with those three, if that didn't come off, I mean, I know for sure, I would be like, what were you doing? Like, what were you thinking? But it comes off, and he's just. Man, he's got something. He really does have something. He's got like composure. He's got understanding. He's got understanding of the game from time that is just not something that even someone like an Eddie Howe won't have that. He won't have that anywhere near the level of what Ange has got. And it's not about the height of leagues. It's about time with people, you know? And that's what is like like, when you're close to something and you lose it, you know, when you take a team that's garbage to winning it, these kind of like the time and the kind of the culture that breeds into a person, like to be able to keep doing it, he's got something that I can see now for sure. That so like you look through this league, there isn't that many managers who have that. You know, that he's probably in a top 4, top 5 manager in this league, if not the world right now, on the time that he's had with players, the time on the pitch, to give him that composure to make big decisions. So he would have stood by, if this game was lost 1-0, he would have stood by that being the right decision to bring on Richie, Perisic, and Johnson, even if it went wrong. And then for him, it is the right decision. Do you know what I mean? And then, but the great thing about it is when you have that, a manager who's willing to make the big, tough, hard decisions, then you add in a crowd like that's willing to energize the talent. Then it comes down to the talent. You know what I mean? Like, you need these things together for it all to work. It's like you know what I mean? It's like you're making a big remedy of success. It can't just be the manager. You know what I mean? If the fans, if you had him making that decision and the fans were all like, oh my God, and you can hear the groans, it wouldn't have worked. It just would not have worked. No one would have been energized. The fans did it. He did it. The fans did it. And then that injects the kind of boost into the talent to go, we need to give this crowd something to walk away with today, because they've been like cheering us on through thick and thin all day, you know? So this is, I think, something that, I don't know how you quantify that in a shorter amount of words other than he's just a fucking badass. But it's so many things that make him a great manager, you know? And I don't think that's crazy to say this early. I think he deserves those plaudits. It's not saying like he's going to go and win a title or anything just now. I'm just saying that's just that he gives us something that we have not had for a very, very, very long time.
100%. Couldn't agree more.
Correct.
Brains, Gav, lovely to see you as always, my friend.
Always a pleasure,
Always
mate.
good to see you after win as well. And thanks
Yeah,
for calling in.
I'm gonna go and take those still images of you getting your tits out, put it all over the internet.
Put on Pornhub, but make sure you don't do that. Let's see you, Gav.
Yeah, nice one, dude. Take care.
See you
That's
later.
right, man. See you
Bye.
All right, that was Brains McLeod, the ever always funny Brains McLeod, talking after the 2-1 win against Sheffield United. Who's next? Do we got anyone else?
Wanted to come on, but he's struggling to get on, so I might do a new rendezvous.
All right. We're trying to get some other guests on, but apparently there's some difficulty, so we'll try and get that on. Apparently, I think Newcastle might have a penalty I'm looking at the moment against Brentford, but there's a VAR check. I think maybe there's no penalty. No penalty. The VAR's ruled out the penalty for Newcastle. They are winning 1-0 with 10 minutes to go at St James's Park. I want to know in the comment section why. I want everyone to put in the comment section what who their man of the match was today, because a lot of people giving a lot of different opinions. Obviously, Richarlison coming off the bench to win the game, and to put in a match-winning cameo, winning, scoring a goal and getting an assist. Kulusevski scored the winner after a strong performance. Basuma, I thought, grew as the game went on. A lot of strong performances today from Tottenham. So I want to know in the comments who your man of the match was. We are, I think, got a couple more guests just getting ready in the back end as we speak. But let's see what some of the comments says. IW says Madison. Daytona says, let's just give it to Rich. George Cardaris says Basuma. Jackster says, has to be Richie. Quincy B says Solomon. Crazy Boyer says, what's... no, Daniel Zito says, man of the match, Pigeon. KPV says Kulusevski. George says Kulusevski. Daniel Horton says Kulusevski. Chris Benoit says Madison.
Who are you going for? You're going Richie.
I'm going Kulusevski.
You're going Kulusevski?
I think Kulusevski was my man of the match, just because I thought he had, in general, had a brilliant game throughout the 90 minutes, in my opinion.
I'm going Basuma.
And then I thought, obviously, Richie came on, turned it around, was a brilliant cameo from him. All right. All right, we're just getting another guest on. Give us a sec. All right, is he ready?
I see you.
All right, is he ready?
Yeah, ready.
All right, let's bring him on. Hey!
What's up, Benny
The
boy?
other half of WeAreTottenham TV.
Yes.
A
What's
big
going on,
smile
people?
on his face. He looks like he's had a good day today, I have to say. 100%. I haven't seen a bigger smile.
I've had an absolutely fantastic day. I'll tell you what, it was a bloody stress for 90 minutes. The way that Sheffield United were doing their dirty tactics, I thought the referee was absolutely shocking today. But that extra time, man, what the hell was that?
Unbelievable.
What was that?
Yeah, tell me, look, you were in the stadium. I think you're the first fan we're talking to who's actually in the stadium. So tell me what it was like being there, because obviously watching from home, the fans seemed very loud, and even at 1-0 down, they seemed to be behind the team and still encouraging instead of getting frustrated, which Ange kind of commented in. But for you, what was it like being in the stadium? What was it like with the atmosphere?
Well, yeah, I saw that and said, there was no frustration from the fans, but I can tell you there was a lot of frustration in the South Stand, and it wasn't to do with the way Spurs were playing. It was more to do with the stop-start nature of the game. The goalkeeper, oh my God, the goalkeeper was driving me insane, Foderingham. I don't know what was going on half the time. He was on the floor more than he was actually on his feet throughout the game. It was so frustrating. The amount of yellow cards, the fouls that were going in. I didn't think Spurs were bad throughout the game, to be honest. I thought we deserved to be winning by the time Sheffield United got their goal. I thought there was some good... I don't think it was like a classic vintage Spurs display than what we've seen throughout the season so far, the last 4 games, but I do think we definitely deserved to be winning at that time. But when Kulusevski scored, oh my God, it was pandemonium. Absolute pandemonium in that stadium. people flying everywhere, people were losing their voices. I mean, it was just absolutely insane. And I got back in the car, and Ashley goes to me, when did Sheffield United get a man sent off? I mean, I did not see that whatever. I didn't see that whatsoever. I was like, it was just party time in the stands. And after Kulusevski scored, I don't even think I even saw it ball being kicked after that.
It's actually been the white wall of noise, hasn't it? This season, those 2 games, it really has been, hasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was crazy today. I thought the first half, the atmosphere was really good. There was a bit of a lull period until maybe Sheffield United scored, and then the fans started getting loud again. But then when Richarlison come on, I mean, for him to come on after everything that's happened this week, him coming out and saying, addressing his mental health issues and stuff like that, to get a goal and lay on an assist as well, I'm just so happy for him, to be honest. And I said to the guy next to me, going into the last 5 minutes of the game, I said, look, we're going to have so much stoppage time here. If we get 1 goal, we can go and win this game. This game is still there for the taking. And look, I think Sheffield United, they had a couple of chances throughout the game, but we controlled the whole game today. We just couldn't get the ball in that back of the net. It was just so frustrating. But I think Sheffield United got what they deserved, the way they conducted themselves today, and Spurs got what they deserved as well for just keep persevering. We never stop. That Ange motto coming through once again. And I just thought it was an absolutely brilliant way to win a football match. I think, I don't know if you know, you probably do, but it was the record today for the latest comeback ever in Premier League history.
Yeah, which we mentioned at the top of the show, but it beats our own record, which was for Bergwijn.
Leicester.
Yeah, which was unbelievable. Also, tell me about the scenes after the game, because I've seen a few video clips of the players coming over to the fans and stuff. I'm assuming you stayed for a lot, and also in the concourse as well. I'm seeing video clips as if we'd just beaten like Arsenal or something in the concourse, everyone celebrating. So like, what a difference like the win against Sheffield United under Ange is making.
Absolutely. All the players were holding hands and running towards the South Stand. I was like, what's going on here? Have we won the Champions League final or something? I mean, we only just beat Sheffield United, but it's not who we beat. It's not like any sort of occasion and stuff like that. It's just the manner of the victory. To come back, to score in the 98th minute, and I don't even know what time the final goal was, but
100th
it's just the manner. What was it?
100.
It's just the manner of it. To come back, to basically everyone's just sitting there being like, how are we losing this game? Like, how? It just makes no sense. We've been controlling it throughout the whole game, and then we got what we deserved right at the end. And I thought Bissouma, man, was growing and growing and growing in that game. I just thought he was incredible. And I got to give my big ups to Dejan Kulusevski as well, because I thought he was a menace on that right-hand side, creating chance after chance. We just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net at the end of the day.
Yeah, so tell me about who your standout players were then in terms of the whole performance.
I would say I thought Mickey van de Ven and Coutinho Romero were absolutely brilliant at the back today once again, especially Mickey. I thought Mickey was so important for us today. Bissouma was, like I said, growing and growing, and he was very influential to us winning that game towards the latter stages of it. I thought Manuel Solomon in the first half was causing them problems, probably our most dangerous player, but I thought he weaned out a bit second half and was really wasteful, to be honest, in the second half. But it was it's all about Richarlison, man. Goal and assist to grab it for us in stoppage time. What more can you ask for?
Yeah, no, I was going to say to you, I want to go back to what you're saying about everyone holding hand and running towards the South Stand. Do you remember a good few years ago, we took the mickey out of Jurgen Klopp doing that with Liverpool when they drew with West Brom, and look what they went on to achieve. So what he has done in changing this team round, and he's built the bond back with the manager to the players to the fans. It's uniting, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You go back 2 months, this club is a completely different club. It's completely different. Every facet of it has changed for the better. The atmosphere in the stands, everyone's together. You don't hear any fans sort of squabbling or fighting anymore. It's just love between all the fans. You can see the players are all completely together. They're embracing the fans as well, literally in every single game, home or away. They're coming over to the fans, showing their appreciation. And the manager, it's all down to the manager, Ange Postecoglou. And I was saying before, like, we've had Conte, we've had Mourinho. Ange Postecoglou is a proper Tottenham manager. He gets already after 5 games. He got what it meant before he even took a game, to be honest. I mean, his ethos and his essence is what the ethos and the essence are of this football club. And we pretty much couldn't have hoped. I think he's the perfect man for the job. He really is. I can't think of any other manager who would be more perfect for us, what we needed to do at this current moment in time to get through the Antonio Contes, the Jose Mourinho's, the Nuno Espirito Santos, yeah? Like, as much as we wanted Jose and Conte to work, and as much as we bought into what they were trying to do, they weren't right for this football club. They're not a match, and they're not a fit for this football club, where Angelos Postecoglou is the absolute most perfect fit. And I can't wait to see what this season unfolds. North London derby next week.
About to say, like, is it? Yeah, just a small matter of the North London derby coming up next. Is it a case of you looking at today's game and with the knowledge at North London that the next game is Arsenal away? Are you looking at today's game thinking, oh, we have to be a lot better if we're going to, go Arsenal and get a result? Or are you still like going into it in confident mood that, we can do something there?
I'm going into it in very confident mood. It's going to be a very different game next week against Arsenal with the tactical setup that they deploy. And, we did predict 3-0 before this game coming into it. But I was actually saying to people last night that I was speaking to, and also at the game before the game today, like, this ain't going to be an easy game. The way Sheffield United set up, it's perfect to stifle us. These are the formations that we're going to find hardest to break down because they've just put so many men behind the ball. They're so compact and they're so hard to beat. And that's what came to pass. I actually think, like, the way Arsenal set up, the way Man City set up, the way other teams set up in the Premier League, it's not going to be, I wouldn't say it's going to be easier, but we're going to find more spaces, and I think it's more suited to the way we want to play.
Agreed.
All right, so we're going to be Arsenal next week then, that's what you're saying?
Of course we're going to be Arsenal. We're going there, we're taking all 3 points. Of course we are.
Ben, I was saying to Simeon, can you imagine if it ends the way this game ended next week?
Oh, don't even.
Can you imagine?
Don't even.
We're never leaving the Emirates.
That's exactly what I said.
We're literally never leaving.
Brian said he's moving in.
Yeah, I'm just going to stay there. They have to try and kick me out. I'm just not going to leave.
Brian, bring your sleeping bag next week.
Well, why not? Why not? Maybe I will.
100%. Yeah, unbelievable. Look, unbelievable victory today. I honestly, it was such a roller coaster of emotions. I can't believe we actually got the win over the line when we did. But when we went 1-0 down, was there still, like, in the stadium, was there still a sense of belief we could get back in this game, or was there a lot of, like, resigned faces?
No. There was no resigned faces whatsoever. As soon as Sheffield United scored, the Spurs fans started singing and started backing the team and started, really willing them on to go. Because we knew that they scored against the run of play. They knew that, we're not playing our best, but we're still creating chances and we were still the better team. So, look, you saw what happened at the end, and I think the fans and the support of the fans were a massive factor in it as well.
I think that just goes to show as well that a lot of it is about what the fans aren't purely. A lot of managers or football people will accuse fans of just being solely results based, and in terms of where their happiness levels are at and stuff like that. But I think at least Spurs fans are showing, with the Ange stuff, it isn't just about the results, about what we're seeing, especially even in pre-season we weren't getting great results, but everyone was so excited about where we're heading. And as you say, today 1-0 down, everyone's still back in the team, everyone's still happy with the way we're playing. It's just unfortunate 1-0 down. So I think it just goes to show how the fans are starting to really believe what Ange is doing, not just because we're winning, but it's just how he's doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've answered every kind of question that's come our way so far. We started the first game with a draw against Brentford, which is a hard place to go in the first game, Manchester United, we haven't beaten them in a long time. Yes, I know they haven't had the best start of the season, lost 3 games already, but still, no matter what form United play us in, they seem to get a result against us. So a great result there. The other 2 games, they're away games. I wouldn't say you don't expect Spurs to win that, but you still got to go away from home to Burnley and to Bournemouth and get the results. And now at home to Sheffield United, going 1-0 down late on and getting 2 goals in literally the last few minutes of the game. Now the real tests come, where you're going to really learn a lot about where this team is really at when we play Arsenal and Liverpool. And if we can go to Arsenal and Liverpool and, let's say, come away with 4 points, who knows where this season can take us, because if we get a point of Arsenal minimum and go beat Liverpool, or the other way around, I'll be super happy with that.
I'll take 2 points. You offer me 2 points right now, I'll take it. You wouldn't take 2 points?
Really? Would you actually take 2 points? I wouldn't.
100%. I'll take 2 points right now.
I wouldn't.
100%. You wouldn't take it?
No.
Wow, confident.
Why would I take 2 points?
Because that keeps us unbeaten.
Yeah, I want 4.
You're on 4. Wow. Going for the title. Going for the title. Love it.
Look, it's
Love
early
the
days.
confidence.
It's 5 days in. It's 5 games into the season. But the way we're playing at the moment, I feel like we're playing better than both those teams.
So why not?
So why can't we get results against them?
Damn
Why
right.
should
No,
we be
that's
scared?
That's a good mentality to have. 100%.
Damn right.
100%. All right. Well, great seeing you. Great you calling in. I'll see you tomorrow in the studio for all the post-match content. See you tonight. I see you tonight for Rosh Hashanah. Looking forward. All right. So nice one. I'll see you very soon.
See you soon, brother.
Na tova umetuka. See you later.
See you later, brother.
All right, that was Ben giving his thoughts. It was good to get an insight into the stadium,
Without doubt,
how it is in there and stuff like that. Let's get on Bobby K and a little cameo of Little K as well.
2 of my favourite people on the planet.
Come on, it's Bobby K.
It's Bobby K. It's Bobby K. Oh yeah, I forgot. And Little K.
And I love that. I love the no red Canadian flag in the back as well. I absolutely love that.
Not allowed. Not allowed. Not allowed. How are you, boys? First off, I don't know who the guy was on that was just before me. That BN. How did you see that? BN? I don't know what that deluded man was talking about, but 2 points in the next 2 games. We're getting 6 from the next 2 games now. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Peace out. I'm not allowed to be on stream today. Apparently, I was just here to get him on.
Goals, come on, you Spurs!
Yeah, unbelievable, wasn't it today, Little K? Tell me about your thoughts on the game today, Little K.
I thought we played really good. I didn't expect us to actually score. We couldn't really break through Sheffield's defense, and we couldn't get a shot into the back of the net. So I didn't expect us to score, but when we did score, me, my brother, my dad, we're all buzzing. And now we're buzzing again because we scored right after.
Yeah, it was madness, wasn't it? Getting those 2 late goals, breaking a record for the latest a team has been losing and ended up turning around and winning. Do you think we deserved it? Do you think that it was a result which, even though we won it in the fashion that we did, it was a reward for our hard work during the game?
Yeah, I think we did deserve it. We had
more shots.
I think around 22 attempts, and they had 6 or something like that. But yeah, I think we did deserve it.
100%. Yeah.
What about you?
Well, listen. First of all, I'll talk about when the first goal went in. Did we think there'd be a second goal? You wanted to hope it would come in, but my God, when it comes in, they are the greatest moments ever. Yeah, I think we totally deserved it today. I really do. But what I want to ask you, Little K, is talk to me about your man Sonny. What do you think of him today?
I mean, I was expecting another hat trick or at least 6, but honestly, his first touch let him down a few times today. Usually, it's very deadly, gets him into open spaces for a shot, but
he picked up a minor knock there away on international duties. Do you think that he might be carrying a small injury? Because now we're finding out that last year he played through the whole season with an injury, right?
He did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you did.
Breaking news on WeAreTottenham TV.
Go ahead. After them, not me, dude.
Okay. With Son, I think we could have gotten a little bit more from him, like maybe a goal contribution before he got subbed out. But other than that, I think he was fine.
And what a sub appearance it was from Richarlison, wasn't it? 1-0 down, he comes on, gets a goal and assist. Tell me about what you thought of him.
A goal and an assist. Wow. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Everybody was doubting him, and then he just popped off. I think he's going to have a super season. 30 goals, 40.
30.
Yeah, definitely. Winning the Golden Boot, and he's taking the record for most goals in the season.
The delusional apple doesn't fall far.
No, I feel a Scotland Yard portion of Nacho's bet coming on, Little K.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, bet's on. bets on.
Bets on.
Ilana will allow me to.
Great. You're paying your own bet.
Ilana will allow me to make those bets.
Tell me about
No,
your
Brian, you cannot make a tattoo bet with my
Yeah.
12-year-old.
Oh,
What a
I'm
game,
not gonna-
boys. What a game.
I didn't
That's
say
all
I
you
was. That's why I said nachos.
got. Not just, oh, the loaded
But
one.
tell me about how it's changed for you, like you guys watching the game together. Now Ange's in charge, and like how much more fun you're having together watching the games.
It was exciting. Like, we were frustrated at some times just because it didn't seem like that ball wasn't going to cross the line. Like, it just seemed that it wasn't even. I don't want to use the word, but there's no other word for it. It wasn't even that it was a Spursy performance. It just seemed like it was going to be a Spursy result. That no matter what happened, no matter what we did, we just for some reason couldn't get the ball across the line. I know a lot of people are already disputing that penalty call against Madison. From what I saw, I think it's a penalty. I don't know what there is to be argued about it, but I've heard some other people are debating it, and I guess, okay, we'll let them debate it. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter now. We still got the 3 points that we definitely needed, and I love the way we got it, that we didn't let our foot off the gas. We kept fighting right to the very end. Normally, especially in the last few years alone, we would have seen this team throw in the towel as soon as they went down a goal. Not, throwing in the towel right at the end of the game where they've kind of given up kind of thing. As soon as that goal went in, we would have watched the last, half hour of just miserable football. That would have been unexciting, unenticing, just boring, just going through the motions kind of things. But this time it seemed like everybody kind of wanted to push forward. We saw players get in, Ange make changes. I was a little bit shocked that he waited so long to make the changes. That's what kind of, that's one thing we were all agreeing on, that what the hell's kind of taking so long to change things up and get the players out there and change things, because it's not working right now. But you could see as soon as he did that, Richie, Perisic combined for the first one, and then Richie setting up Kulu for the second one. And I was surprised Kulusevski was left on and not subbed off for Johnson, because I thought just a little bit of taste on that side would have really helped. But clearly Ange knows what he's doing, so in Ange we trust, baby.
Oh yeah.
Well, he made an impact, didn't he, Bobby, and little K, when Johnson came on. You talk about the other two goals and assists. He had a goal ruled out for offside, an assist for a goal that was ruled out for, what was he? What was the reason for that? Was it offside? Oh, foul. That's right. It was a foul.
Oh yeah.
And his pace was just terrifying them down the left, wasn't it? He had a very big impact from when he came on so quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I think what we're going to have to expect out of him, Brian. When you've got Kulusevski there and he's going to come in and the two of them are going to kind of operate that right wing role, the difference in the players is fantastic. And it's such a level change, because you've got a kid that can hold up the ball, allow players to come in, join the attack, is really good at kind of picking out a pass and looking for teammates, floating that ball into the box in Kulusevski. And then you get Johnson in there, and you got a guy that's just going to run at people, run through them, and run right around them. You get that sheer pace. So if you're a defender on that side and you don't know which one of them you're going to come up against for the game, it could be bothersome either way. It's not like you've got two similar players. You got two almost completely different players that are going to be able to attack along that wing. And I think that gives us a lot of promise on that side. So it's really refreshing and great to see. And I'm just pumped right now, man. I'm just so. I was supposed to be cutting the grass. I ain't doing jack today. I'll tell you right now. Honey, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. I ain't doing nothing.
The Ange effect. The Ange effect.
It's Rosh Hashanah, right? We're celebrating, baby.
Exactly. It's Rosh Hashanah. New Year. Tell me about Ange. What your feelings about him are at the moment. He seems to brought so much unity to the club, and he's really brought the fans together. Everyone seems to be loving the football he's playing. Tell me, after it's 4 wins on the trot now, but it's not just the wins, is it? Tell me about what your feelings are at the moment with Ange.
Wow, I can't remember the last time I saw Tottenham actually playing attacking football, actually pressing for the ball instead of just playing it back to the keeper. Pretty sure the last time that happened was with Poch. I'm really excited for our next game against Arsenal. Hopefully Brendan Johnson's starting.
What did you just say? Against who?
Arsenal.
You watch your mouth. I'm sorry about that, man.
Apologies to all the viewers for the bad language.
Go on. Carry on. We've got other people waiting, so we better not mess around too much.
Yeah, I want to see Brendan Johnson starting against that club. I'm now really excited for watching Tottenham games on the last season. Last season it was just like when we're up against that
Anybody?
club, Liverpool. I wasn't excited at all. I didn't even want to watch the games because of how poorly we were doing. But now, I woke up at 6:30 in the morning to watch it.
Because expected nothing out of those games, so it's kind of hard to get pumped up for a game that you are not expecting a result from, right? Whereas now, I think there's hope and there's a belief, which Ange has instilled not only in the fan base, but clearly you can see it in the players. You can see the energy they're playing with. You can see the commitment that we're playing with. You know, things that have been missing for so many years. And this game going down 1-0, okay, yeah, you know, we discussed this the other day, you and I, Sim, that you know, I don't think this was a be-all and end-all game. If we lost this game, so be it. There's still a lot of season left. But I've got to eat my words right now, because that reflection and that push in that last few minutes to not only just get a draw, but go ahead and push forward for that winner shows the desire that this team has, and shows what they're willing to leave out on the field, which is everything. And it's so refreshing to see that, because we've been lacking that from a lot of players. So well done to the squad. Well done to Ange to pump them up and motivate them. And thank you, Ange, for reigniting us as fans. You know, I don't know, a handful of fans maybe are still not convinced by Ange, but I'm just happy with the style of football that we're playing. It's attacking. It's exciting. You know, even though we didn't have the goal at that point before we had even scored, I think we had 20 some odd chances on net and 6 or 7 that were on net. You know, the goalie made a few good saves in the first half as well. He looked like he was going to frustrate us. We could have got in. Madison just missed that one where he hooked it wide there when he was inside the box. He hooked it to the left side of the post, just missed the post in the first half.
Yeah,
So
the volley.
yeah, so you know, things are looking good. We're on the up and up, and we're going in the right direction. So choo baby, let's get on that end train.
Big up Bobby K, big up Little K. Thanks for calling in, guys. Really appreciate your time. Really great call as always, guys, and we'll see you very soon.
See you very, very soon. See you very soon.
Big up to Bobby K and Little K in the building. All right, next up we have Andy. Andy's here. Hey Andy, how you doing, man?
Big up, Andy.
Oh, you're mute. I think he's on mute. One sec.
Sorry about that. I should have been prepared. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, Andy. How you doing?
I'm good. Sorry about the false start there, but I had to call in, Tim. Had to see you after today.
I was incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah, I actually watched the beginning of the game in bed because I woke up early, and I'm in the States, and ended up jumping around. You know, I'm sure my wife thought that I was gonna like come through the ceiling. It was like ridiculous. Well, I gotta say, you know, this is probably the first potential loss, because you know how we've been watching these games, and we've been losing these games last year, right? Mm-hmm. And the year before, and probably the year before that. This was the first game, because my dad's a lifelong Spurs fan. My grandfather was a lifelong Spurs fan, and you know, I once said to him, you know, I can't remember the last time I watched Tottenham lose and was like, you know what, that's okay. We played well. We really put in an effort. We went out there, we went after them, and we lost. Usually in the last at least 3 years when they've lost, I've been angry. Mm-hmm. I was kind of prepared to be like, you know what, we gave it a shot. We lost it, but we put it all out there. We left everything out on the field. Guys were getting cramps. You know, it was all happening, right? And I would have been able to accept that loss, but for them to come back and do what they did, you know, those kind of things happen to good teams that win trophies, right? Teams that did what they did today win trophies. It's a hard-edged mentality. And I've got to say, you know, one of the things that I see slowly happening, and if it continues to happen, it's going to be kind of exciting, is that Aussie sporting mentality is starting to creep in. You get that feeling that it's like the Aussies, and probably I'm originally from New Zealand. New Zealanders are kind of the same, the Antipodean attitude of not losing, and you just fight until the second ends, and you never really even think about the fact that you can lose. You're going to just keep battling away. And typically you hit above your weight. And right now, I don't know, is Tottenham hitting above their weight right now, or are they hitting exactly where they should be? What do you guys think?
It's a big question. It's a big question. I think obviously we're performing very well. I think the fact that he's got us playing this way so quickly is surprising. I wouldn't say we've had too many complete shock results, apart from maybe being Man United, but I would say that I wouldn't say the results are above our weight, but I would say the performances are at the moment. And that's what I would say. The fact that he's got us playing this way so quickly, and the fact that he's reinvigorated the fans and the club, and just the way that he's got the players playing and the team playing, I would say at the moment that's probably above our weight.
Although if you go through the numbers, I know you're a bit of a stats man, right? Last year, there was a lot of teams that we lost against that we shouldn't lose against, right? So far, I know it's only 5 games in. Is it 4 games? 5 games in.
5
games. We've won the games we're supposed to win, and we haven't dropped any points. Usually by now we would have lost. We would have lost a couple of points, or at least lost a game and 3 points to a team we should have won. And I was trying to add up the numbers before I came on, but from memory, I think we probably lost 20, 22, 23 points to teams we should have picked points up from. And if we can just win all the points we should win and then steal some points from the top 6, we're challenging, right? I mean, typically, how many teams have the winning record against Man City that Tottenham have over the last few years, right?
Very few, if any.
Right? So if we can continue that, I wonder if we will because of the game that we play. But if we could continue that, who knows what could happen? I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but next week, I don't think Tottenham's beaten Arsenal away since 2010. Is that right?
Correct.
So that's 13 years without a win there. I think they could do it. I do. The last couple of years, I've been like, oh well, okay. I hope it's not embarrassing. But this year,
you're going into that game in a confident mood.
Yeah, I don't know if it's confidence. It's going in with a smile and a chance. You know what I mean? Sorry, Brian. What?
No, go on. No. You finish, then I'll ask you the question.
I was going to say I'm going in thinking that we could punch him in the nose at home.
Well, sorry, Andy. I'll stop. Sorry. What I was going to say basically is I'm with you. If you look at it the last 2 years, the performance last season at the Emirates, we performed all right in the first half, but then collapsed in the second half after sending off. And then the season before that with Nuno, which was quite frankly the most embarrassing North London derby performance I've seen at the Emirates from us that first half. We've got to be full of but full of belief and full of desire that we know we're not going to play like that. We're not going to have the same heads drop in, the same players. There's been a complete turnaround in personnel, a fresh blood. You look at it, a lot of those players that played today and have started are new players. They're going to go in there knowing that this game means something rather than the old guard that have been there year in, year out. So I think this year it's got to be excitement going there.
Right. It's like you said, if we go 2-0 down, which could happen, right, next week, let's say we 2-0 down 30 minutes in. Previously, last 3 years, I'd be like, okay, fuck it, I turn it off and I don't even watch the rest of the game and then I look at the score and we end up losing, 4-0 or 3-0 or something like that, and I wouldn't be surprised, right? Now I'm like, these guys are going to keep fighting right to the bitter end, even if it's 2-0 down, 90 minutes gone. 6 minutes of extra time, they're going to keep fighting. And as long as they keep fighting, as long as they keep putting that effort in, I'm going to keep watching and I'm going to be celebrating. And even if you lose 2-1, it's that fight that I haven't seen before. Plus, it's good looking football. It's fun to watch, right? My dad used to call me. I think I've told you this. My dad would call me because he's in New Zealand. He would call me and say, should I watch the game? That was what he was doing the last 2 years. Should I watch the game? And I'd say, nah, maybe not today. Or yeah, you should watch the game. Now he's like texting me the day before saying, are you excited? Make sure we have a call and we'll have a chat about this tomorrow after the game. we gotta be thinking that the whole fan base feels the same way, and that's like ridiculous. Like the sea change from, just think about where our heads were at in April, right?
Yeah, down in the
What we were
dumps.
thinking about in April to what is that? That's what, 5 months ago. Now we're thinking life's great. Let's keep going.
100%.
Yeah. So
In
it's exciting.
in terms of the game next week, like, and when you put in the context of today's game, obviously we did scrape by Sheffield United, but we end up getting the result. When you look at today's game within the context of next week, are you feeling like, we have to perform much better than today if we're going to get a result of the Emirates? Or are you still like looking at today's performance thinking, we played well today, and like, even if we perform like this next week, we'd still win the shot of getting a result?
I kind of feel it's about managing those, because every game is very hard to keep a level of intensity for 90 minutes. So that's very unusual, like in any sport. Like Man City doesn't do it, and the top teams don't do it. But what they do is in those lulls, in those moments where you're taking a breath, right? Because the game kind of breathes. We've got to make sure we don't let a goal in. We've got to make sure that we keep strong and we hold the line, and then we come back with a surge. And then we got to make sure we put those in the back of the net. So that's kind of where I kind of feel today it almost felt like when we were taking a breath, when there was a little bit of a lull, that we really did let an inferior team, I hate to say it, kind of get a little bit more into the game than they should have. So we've got to like get a little bit better of controlling those moments where the breath is being taken, where the without letting Arsenal get back in. And there was one moment during the game, I think towards the end, when the players were absolutely swarming Sheffield Wednesday. We got to kind of do that. I think the other part of it is Ange telling the guys to just run their legs off, right? So there is almost no breath being taken, and then really good substitutions. Like today, putting Kulu in, and Kulu basically went into Sarr, like moved to Sarr, and then Johnson went in. I don't know. I kind of feel Kulu. I would like to see Kulu in rotation with Sarr. And when we don't play Sarr, or maybe we start Sarr, and or maybe Kulu might be on the bench instead of bringing him on for Johnson, if we let Johnson have a go. And I don't know if we should do that in the next game, but let's say those kind of things happen. I'd like to see Kulu playing where Sarr is if we want a little bit more bite and attack up front. And it's exciting. I think next week is going to be about how we handle those lulls. Do we let that lull happen and then let Arsenal get on top and start really pressuring, or do we kind of like just hold them and then surge back? Because when we are surging, I don't know if there's many teams that can handle that. It's like so overwhelming. There's so many players, so much stuff going forward. It's really hard to keep on top of. And I've been watching a lot of tactical YouTube shows and so forth about it. And a lot of teams have one inverted fullback. Very few have two. Like none have two, and none have two playing in the way that they play. Right, so we're playing football that hasn't been seen in the Premier League and isn't being seen in the Premier League. What's probably the most surprising to me, because I was expecting us to win games 3-2, 4-3, is like we're not really conceding a lot of goals, right? Now is that because we've got the ball 72% of the time and the other team doesn't have it? Can we do that against a Liverpool? Can we do that against an Arsenal? That's where we're going to see. If we win these two games, it's all on. I think we literally, if we win these next two games, as a fandom, as a club, I think Levy, I know Brian's best mate Daniel Levy should go. You know what? Let's go for this title. Because if we can beat those two teams, and if we can beat them in a good, it's all on. Because if we're winning the games that we should be winning, and then we're beating Liverpool and Arsenal at home, and Liverpool, who are playing great football right now, we're contenders at that point. And if we're contenders, you got to go for it. And I think when you've got an Aussie like Ange in there, his mentality is, I'm going to win every game that comes. He's not thinking about what's going to happen in January. He's thinking, I'm winning this Saturday, and he wins it. I'm winning this Saturday, and he wins it. I'm winning this Saturday, and that's what he's doing. The beauty also is that he's got 7 days to prepare for each game. It's exciting as to what could happen. It's we might be like, who thought that Leicester was going to win a Premier League? Who thought that Leicester was going to win during that season? Right? Who thought that Leicester was going to win towards the end of the season? Everyone thought that they would like run out of legs, that they'd fall apart, that something would happen, right? And what did they do? They pipped us to the post, and they won. And I kind of feel like you've got a different mentality now. All the dead wood, all of the sad sacks, all the the guys that are seen as super professional, and I hate to say it, because once upon a time I thought they were amazing and stalwarts, but the Llorises, you got to think Lloris not being there might be something to that, right? Dyer not being there, we know there's something to that, right? There's guys that were pretty substantial for the team in the last few years that have gone. I know you don't believe this, Sim, and I know you're going to hate me saying this. I actually think you might find that the best thing that ever happened to Tottenham was Kane leaving. And that makes me sad to say that, but you might find that when we look back historically, Kane leaving was the thing that caused Tottenham to take off. Because when you've got a Michael Jordan type figure, sometimes it's like, oh, let's just pass it to him. Let's just pass it to him. Let's let him fix it. It's not Kane's fault. But now we've got 11 guys busting their ass and taking it on themselves and fighting to the end instead of one guy.
I totally agree, Andy.
It's exciting.
Yeah, and at the moment, we're looking amazing, and I have to say that, like, I'm loving what we're seeing. I do feel like, in all honesty, if Kane was still here, I think we would have seen a new team even with Kane. I don't think we would have been. It would have been the same.
I think you're right. I think you're right. I think it's unfair to say this is not a hit on Kane. It's a hit on the team, right? It's a hit on the Dyers, the Llorises. I do think Lloris was a bit of a problem. I do. It's not a surprise that he's out and he's not even getting a look in, right? He's not even on the bench, right? I mean, granted, we can't have 25 goalkeepers on the bench, but he's not. He's not getting a look in. He was the captain, right? All those guys that, Brian, you said, their heads would drop and they'd kind of give up and then it would just be a shit show. They're kind of not there anymore. There's just a whole bunch of exuberance and excitement and guys that want to fight to the end. And, a guy like Postecoglou is going to have guys just fighting for him, right? They're gonna have an attitude of, I would for years, where they'll win 5-0 and he'll still find things to work on, right? I'm a big rugby guy as well, and the All Blacks, they'd beat a team 53 to 10, right? And the coach would come off and say, yeah, we dropped a few passes, we should have done this, we should have done that, we got some things to work on. And I kind of get the feeling that Tottenham's now has a head coach or a manager that has that same mentality, and it could breed an absolute culture. My concern, and I think this is probably something that you agree with, Brian, is when we do hit some problems, does Levy have the balls to stick with it, to stick through this year? Or is he like, let's say we go through a streak and we lose 5 games and we drop down to 6th or 7th or 8th place, and let's say a Nagelsmann suddenly becomes available, or somebody comes available who he's excited about. Does he have the chops to go, you know what, that's okay, we're gonna go through it, kind of like Arsenal did with Arteta, right? I mean, how many of you thought that Arteta would have survived?
Well, the thing is with this as well, I look at it 2 ways like you. Either that, and I really hope he doesn't pull the trigger, because I will always back the managers, and I think this guy, we are onto something. But then I look at the other way, that let's say come January, like you said, we take these points away from our big six rivals, we win the games that we wanted to win. Does he then say, right, January, we're in with this, and go, right, what do you need, Ange Postecoglou? And goes out and gets it? Or do we get a Carlos Tevez, Gary Cahill, Louis Saha, Ryan Nelson? There's the things. I mean, you've got to hope he does this time. You've got to hope that he's learned his lesson and he'll ride the storm, because people thought that was going to happen with Ange at the beginning, didn't they? We all thought this was going to start at the beginning. It might be a bit choppy, like we had with Poch, until Harry Kane scored that Villa free kick and then it all went north. Well, he's blowing it out of the water at the moment. And if we can just keep that going till January, let's see if he does that. But I really hope if we go for a bad run, he does not pull the trigger. You've got this guy for 4 years. You need to keep him for 4 years.
Because Ange could be a guy that could be with us for 10 years if we do it right. Right. And imagine what this team could be like in its 6th year. And you talk about the January window. Ange isn't going to go and try to sign marquee, glamour signings, right? That's not what he's looking for. He's looking for, okay, I need this kind of player with this kind of skill set to fit this kind of position. Let's find those guys, and we're going to find people, and we're going to be surprised. We're going to be disappointed. Why aren't we going for this big name? Why didn't Levy spend $100 million on this guy? Might be because Ange Postecoglou has actually said, I want this guy, I want that guy. So it's not about the big signings either. It's about what you said, Brian. It's about what does Ange want, and then we just go and get it. And I think we will find out, and it'll be I'll be watching you, Brian. I'll be watching you through YouTube, through the YouTube. I want to see how your head is going in the 5th or 6th day of January, and then the 7th, and then the 10th, and then the 20th. Because I hope for your health that maybe there's 2 or 3 signings that happen on the 2nd or 3rd of January, right? Yep. And if you think about it, we're hearing sniffs of it. Did you and Ben talk about some beast, or was it someone else? Maybe it was,
He's 16 years of age, though.
No. The defensive midfielder, Herenio, or whatever it was. Marino.
Yeah, like that. If he's the right guy and Ange wants him, he's the kind of guy that we should have lined up January 1st, right?
100%.
And if we start seeing that, I think, the Levy out stuff, you got to start thinking to yourself, okay, at what point, and I think, to be honest, the point that it happens is when there's maybe we go in the league, but that might happen in 2024, and you might be out of a job there, Brian. So, I'm sure you'll be the happiest guy to be out of a job if that's how you get put out of the job, right?
Completely. Like we said, we always want what's best for the club. But like you said, getting back to it with the transfers, like I don't care if we spend 80 million on a player. I'm surprised we haven't tapped into the Far Eastern Australian market, that he's got the absolute knowledge on. If he says he wants a player from Japan, Australia, wherever it may be in that region for 10 million, or we can get this one who we know for 60, 70, go get the one for 10 million. That's spending the money wisely. That's listening to your manager. And that's what we need to be doing.
But apparently Postecoglou has got an amazing knowledge of European players too. Like he is an absolute scholar and studier of that stuff, and he is pouring through it. I could see him, so the way it goes is, again, we'll keep saying it's early days. Here's a question for you both. When does, it's just early days. When do we stop saying that? What date is that?
Probably halfway through the season, maybe. 19
January?
games in. January.
All right.
December, January time. Well, if
we're
still up here.
Yep. Because we are right. It's true, and we all should just keep ourselves together. What I'm happy though for is if we just fight, bloody everybody's nose. Even if we lose, they know they've been in an absolute dogfight the whole time. That's all I care about. I don't care about losing as long as the other team is like, shit, I do not want to play Tottenham. I want us to be the team that no one wants to get on the field with. I want us. I want, because I want Man City, Man United, Liverpool. I want Arsenal. I want all the big six. Chelsea. I don't even think of Chelsea anymore. How bad is that? Chelsea. I want them to be going, no, we don't want to play Tottenham. We don't want to be embarrassed. I just don't want to be dealing with them. And I want the smaller teams to almost be thinking, oh shit, okay, well, hey, we'll lose the 3 points to this one. We'll get them next week, right? I want us to be the team that puts terror into the premiership. And if that's all we get out of it, that's a good step, right? Even if we don't win a trophy this year, I want to put fear into the opposition, and I think right now we're playing that way. And there's passion, and there's fight, and there's 6 yellow cards that we got this. I don't know if it's because we should have got them more.
Yeah, there was 13 yellow cards in the game. I thought I was a bit crazy throughout the game. The referee was very card happy. I wasn't really
surprising. There wasn't more than one send off.
Yeah, 100%. But
it's funny. Didn't you honestly think? I'll leave it at this because I thought this was funny. Didn't you think that it was either no call or a yellow card almost? Like, wasn't there a lot of stuff where you're like, come on, there's something there.
100%.
Maybe if he just called a couple of fouls when he did, and not given a yellow card when he called no foul, there would have been less need for yellow cards to go up. I don't know. Anyway,
I agree. I thought it was very odd. I thought he was a really odd refereeing performance, to be honest. And he was just brandishing cards left, right, and centre for a lot of things that maybe didn't need a card. And then he was just making a lot of odd decisions, like the drop ball decision in the second half. Like, he gave us a drop ball in the first one. Then he gave it to Sheffield United, and it was the same incident. It was very. He just made some really odd calls. I didn't quite understand what he was doing.
I think we need to tell our fans too. Just hold the ball. Just keep the ball. Stop throwing it back on the field. It's bloody stupid. We were like desperately needing a goal, and some idiot throws it from midway up the stand. We've got. Hey, guys, if you're at a game and the ball comes, put it in your bag. Take it home.
That's exactly what I said.
You know what I mean? Have fun with it. All right, that's it, guys. I'm very happy. I'm kind of very excited. And next week. Gosh, I just want to punch them right in the nose. That would be so good.
Oh, don't we all, Andy? Don't we all? Lovely to see you, mate.
Lovely to speak with you, Andy.
Hopefully we'll see you soon. Cheers for coming on.
Take care, guys.
Take care, buddy.
That's one, Andy.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was a great call from Andy after the win. And to round off the show, who else? You know who's coming. Get ready.
It's me.
It's me.
It's me. It's KPV. Doing the Alan Shearer.
No, we'd have won.
Carl, how amazing was that win today?
Brilliant, and 2-1, and my brother scores again, Kulu. He scores when he wants, Dejan Kulusevski, he scores when he wants. That's another song for him. Not Gimme Gimme, because we stole it off ABBA, so that's 2 songs, not just one, mate. So,
you stole it off Havertz?
ABBA, I said.
ABBA.
Not
Havertz. We stole it off of Havertz.
That's what you said, Havertz. ABBA. We didn't see that. We came up with that. What do you mean? ABBA stole it off us?
No. ABBA, we stole the song off ABBA, mate. Get it right.
Nah, no chance.
No, get it right then. I went to a concert and I heard that ABBA song when I went to see Steps in 2018, and I heard that song. But it was a tribute ABBA band, not the actual band, the tribute. So get it right, okay?
I'll let ABBA know. I'll let ABBA know. That we stole off them. What about Richarlison, Carl? Came off the bench, got a goal and an assist.
Yeah, finally scored his first home goal in the Premier League, but he lasted and he thought he scored home goals, but they were all offside. But this one was not offside this time, and he finally scored. He was saying, "Am I offside again? I'm probably going to get booked," but nah, mate. Finally didn't. And goal and assist. Name me of our last Tottenham player score goal and assist, and in a game like this, not a different game, but like late game. Ericsson was going to score love scoring late goals. Then it Burnley, Inter,
Who is the last player to get a goal and assist off the bench? That's a good question. I wouldn't know. I don't know if the chat know.
Anyone in the chat?
Are we talking for Tottenham? Or are we talking
for Tottenham?
Tottenham,
I don't know. Last
goal
player
and
to get a
assist.
goal and assist off the bench. I wouldn't know. Obviously, Bergman got 2 goals.
Yeah, he came off the bench, didn't he? But
Yeah,
that was 2 goals.
I don't know who else. Anyone in the chat know? It's a good
Anyone
question
in
from
the chat?
Carl.
That's a really good question.
I don't know who the last player is.
Carl, you normally answer these questions, not ask them.
Well, I thought I'd ask, mate. But anyway, as well, you check your WhatsApp one. I messaged you last night, mate.
I heard the message. I've seen my hero, The Rock, return about 38 times. Thank you for letting me know.
The Rock is cooking.
Carl, did you know The Rock was coming back?
Of course. I knew
No,
he
you
was.
didn't. No, you
Yes,
didn't.
I did.
I heard,
Yes,
I heard he called you the day before to let you know.
No, I knew he was coming back, mate, because they were in Colorado. Pat McAfee, that's where he had his show, and so The Rock said he planned to be at SmackDown, so I knew he was coming back, and I stayed up to watch. So the match between him and Roman Reigns has to happen. So, and they're in Philadelphia for WrestleMania next year, so bring it.
I'll tell you one thing. If The Rock is going to WrestleMania, I will be in Philadelphia.
Fair enough. Well then, you ain't going without me, mate, because I'll be there as well. Tim and Ben need to be coming.
100%. If The Rock's there, I'll be there. Carl, are we gonna beat Arsenal next week?
Yeah, of course. And Ben's deluded. He doesn't want 2 points. We're getting 6 points off Arsenal and Liverpool. Come on, like Arsenal way. It was the last time we won there was under Redknapp, ain't it? We were 2-0 down, but Redknapp made changes. He brought on the phone, and then we got a goal back through Gareth Wales, as expression towards him, and known as Bale. He was born to score, and then Van der Vaart, he loved the North London derby. JJ as well, and you know who scored the winner. It was Kabul, but I've got a bone to pick with Mr. Daigle here.
Here we go.
Oh, gee, what?
You do not leave Toby out of our all-time 11 blind. Seriously.
Sorry?
You do not leave Toby out of our all-time 11. You and Andy.
No. Listen, that's you. I've said always, Jan Vertonghen over Toby Alderweireld for me all day long.
Nah, mate. Toby, you do not leave Toby out. I said Toby and Jan in. I don't have anything against Ledley, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, why are you leaving Ledley out?
Look, mate.
How
many goals did Ledley score? Huh? 3. Toby got 7. So Toby.
He wasn't employed to score goals.
Well, mate, you can play 4 centre backs: Toby, Jan, Dawson, and King. So that's enough. So Toby gets in. You can't leave him out because Toby and Jan were the best partnership. Like, no offense to King, but Toby gets in this 11 right now, mate. And but I want to congratulate Jan on getting being the first Falcon to reach 150 caps. So congrats. And well done. So bring on the North London derby.
KPV, let me ask you one more question. You'll have your cool assessment. What do you think of Brennan Johnson when he came on?
Brilliant. I thought he done great, and he was offside, but he wasn't. I don't know. And this referee, I don't know what his name is, but he's worse than the one who robbed us against Sporting Lisbon last season. So he's even worse. 2 referees have robbed us. We were robbed of a pen, and we were robbed of the last-minute winner against Sporting Lisbon. I know Ben and Tim were there, so we were robbed. We've been robbed 2 times in 2 seasons. So this better not happen in the North London derby. And congrats to Kane on scoring his 300th club goal of his career. But it's a shame he didn't win yesterday. And
it's not a shame, Brian. Kyle, it is what it is.
I didn't even know he hit a milestone yesterday. I paid
300 club goals, apparently.
I paid absolutely.
The only goals you should be caring about are Richarlison and Kulisevsky.
Exactly.
Goals, Kyle. That's all you should be caring about.
He ain't on Kane's level though. But if he gets injured, if Richie gets injured, then I put Son there. But Son, I think that's the best position. Put him in the middle because I know he didn't have a good game today, but coming off the back of the hat-trick against Burnley 2 weeks ago, but he loved the North London derby, Son, and Richarlison scored again when he was at Everton. That was when Liverpool won the league. So Richie score next weekend and bring on Liverpool, not Liverpool, it's Liverpool. David always calls them that because of VAR. So Arsenal and Liverpool, 2 games and breaking news: Tottenham versus Chelsea to be shown on Monday Night Football, the 6th of November. So I think it's the first time we've had Chelsea on a Monday Night Football playing against them. So, Hot, look out, mate. You're not getting a clap from us. You're Judas, mate. You said you found Chelsea as our biggest rivals. Bum Kalia Blood. Get out. What?
All right, Carl.
I'm
Good
out.
to see you, mate.
I'm out.
See you later, Carl.
Later, boys. And as always, Levy out. They go in. Tada.
Nice one,
Love
Carl.
Cheers, brother.
La Bosh. And what an ending to the show. Carl Patrick Vineyard. And what a day it's been.
Oh, it's been a crazy day.
What a day it's been. Last minute winners, drama all around. Man United losing at home to Brighton. It's been a crazy, crazy day. Brian, wouldn't want to spend it with anyone else, mate.
Wow. Straight back at you, brother. Straight
Lovely
back
to
at
have
you.
you in the studio. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on the post-match fan show. We'll see you all very, very soon. We'll see you tomorrow for another live stream, all the post-match stuff. So stay tuned for that. Everyone have a very, very good evening and enjoy celebrating that amazing 3 points. See you all next time. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always,
Come on, you Spurs.